All right, yo, what's good? This your boy Derek Branch here of Memphis Wire on Sports View 360, and I'm back with y'all with another transfer portal slash Memphis Tigers men's basketball team rundown. A lot has transpired since the time I uploaded the last video that came out last week to now, as a lot has went down with the program, with University of Memphis in general, just all kind of news coming out left and right. Um, you know, Huge news as well. I want to talk about that, you know, later in the video. But first thing I want to start things off by with something that I told y'all was gonna happen. I'm not surprised that the outcome is came down to this, and that's top player Javid Jones announcing that he'll declare for the 2024 NBA draft, but will keep his college eligibility. And I agree with it. I have no issue with this. I don't think he's going to come back to the program, just to be honest with you. That's just what it is right now. I think, if he comes back, it's great for Memphis. It's great for, you know, qualifications for the NCAA tournament, Bird, and all that other stuff. But for him, just for his own personal development at the next level, I don't think coming back to Memphis is going to do anything for him. I think that just the player that he is, I think he can be a solid contributor at the next level. But y'all know how that stuff goes with scouting and prospects and all that. But I mean, coming back for him does nothing for him at this stage in his career. He's already, an older player. But for Memphis, it's great. But for him, nah. And I don't think he's gonna come back. I don't think if he does come back, great. I don't, if he, also, I don't think he transfers if he does come back, but we'll see how everything plays out because, once you start adding to this roster, we already got two scorers on the team, Haggerty and Kobe Rogers. How does he feel about that? Who knows? But I think it's the right move by him. And coming here, I would say coming from where he came from, Syracuse, other places he was at, just really enhanced his stock, his draft stock. Just really enhanced his profile as a player. Penny Hardaway let him, he became a top player with his team. Numbers were through the roof. So shouts out to him. This was announced yesterday on his Instagram account. And y'all know how that go, man. Once you announce it, once they put that stuff out, spreads like wildfire. But David Jones declares for the NBA draft, but will keep his collegiate eligibility. So congratulations to him. And if he doesn't come back, I wish him nothing but the best. Real talk. All right, the other news that came out on Friday, the day prior to the David Jones announcement. This is a huge news right here, just for the University of Memphis in general, and that in regards to athletics, and that's FedEx to fund 25 million for Memphis NIL in what is believed to be the largest corporate partnership with athletes. The investment will cover 5 million in NIL contracts for Memphis athletes for 5 straight years. That is a huge deal, man. That is a huge deal, a blessing for the program. Shouts out to the people at FedEx that made this happen. You know, Now the money, the 5 million in NIL contracts is going to be bevied up. It's going to be divided up among football, basketball, women's basketball, and I'm pretty sure that baseball is going to have a little hand in it as well. But this is mainly about football. This is mainly about getting the football program where they need to be. You know, and And in regards to men's basketball, Penny Hardaway, this is just extra ammunition for him to go out and find these and get these players. Now that doesn't mean repeat what you did last year, where you went out and pretty much got, you know, whichever what people are calling now as a bunch of mercenaries to be a part of this program. That means using the money wisely. Use the money to get, the best player at the top of the list on these rankings for transfer portal prospects at guards, forwards, centers. Use that money for that. But make sure that these players fit your vision, that you don't go away from what you're known for, which is playing really good defense, just for just to allow somebody to come into your program and causes you to go away from your hallmarks, to go away from your traits that makes you a really good coach. So I'm hoping that this money is used wisely, and it's mainly for football, if we're being honest. Um, this has been in the works for a while. I knew about this a while back to sources I've, known over the months, over the years, and I saw this and I didn't brush it off, but I was just kind of like in a wait and see mode on how it was going to be released, how it's going to be reported. Now, the next reported alleged move, is that Memphis is going to be Memphis is in the driver's seat to be the next team that is, the next school to go from the group of five to the power four, or whatever you want to call it, that they have now, where when the next talks of realignment kick off, which is going to be real soon, around May-ish, May, June, July, that news start kicking off again. Memphis is supposed to be in the conversation to be the next program to jump ship. I'm not getting out. I mean, I think it's gonna happen eventually, but I mean, it just you never know, because there's always a program. There's always a program that they're trying to find to put over Memphis that doesn't even have the resume of what the Tigers have done as a group of five brand, as in regards to football, basketball, you know what I'm saying? They don't really have that resume, but they'll put them over Memphis because of their location. But we'll see how everything's gonna play out, man. I think Memphis is gonna get into one of these leagues eventually. But the thing that's gonna really put the Tigers over the top is that they just gotta make sure that whenever they form these two super conferences, there's this alleged 80-team league, super league. Memphis needs to be in that conversation. They just need to prepare themselves to be in that conversation. Because once I think that's the final phase of this thing. And once you get a part of that, is the money just gonna be everywhere. You're gonna have all kinds of money, all kind of resources, access to things you never had prior to this. You know what I'm saying? So this is a huge move right here. This is a huge game changer to have this 5 million in your pockets, to have FedEx in your pockets. To have FedEx behind you now. You know what I'm saying? Now other corporations are going to copy this. If it turns into a success, other programs are going to try to do this. So we'll see how everything plays out in regards to that aspect. Okay. All right. Other news. So we're talking the schedule, right? Upcoming non-conference schedule for the program for Memphis. They'll be in the Maui Invitational. You got 3 games, 3 opponents at the Maui Invitational, which I think it's around the start of the season, around November time frame. Then you got the rematch with Clemson. You go to Virginia. You go to UNLV, who is also a new opponent for you. Then you have a rematch with Missouri. This time is at home. Now you got to add Mississippi State. I announced this later in the week, prior on a community tab, the community section, that you got a home and home series with Mississippi State that starts this season at FedEx Forum. It also was announced that a new home and home series will start between Memphis and Ole Miss. The first game is on will be in Memphis. And also another new opponent, you be playing San Francisco and the Bay Area, the Chase Center. So that's a nice ticket right there. A nice little, getaway for the fan base if you decide to, use your discretionary income on traveling to the West Coast to watch a game. That is also the home. Chase Center is also the home of the Golden State Warriors, and that's a good team that may have next year, this upcoming season. San Francisco did get into the tournament. Mississippi State got in, I believe. Clemson, they had a deep run to the tournament. Virginia, you know what they did. UNLV, Missouri was a big disappointment. They didn't make it. But this ain't bad, man. This ain't bad. The Mile Invitational will have, I believe, Connecticut will be in the Mile Invitational. I believe you North Carolina and let me see. Hold on real quick. Auburn, Michigan State, Dayton, and Colorado. So this is a good schedule to me. Um, is it the gauntlet that they had last year? No, but it's still if you can win these games, if you can win a bulk majority of these games, it'll be great for your resume, as it has been the past couple of years. So if just man, if like I said this in a social media post, but if Memphis didn't have the meltdown during the conference schedule, the AAC portion of the schedule, their resume would have been really dope. Because they beat really good teams, and these teams that they beat are made got to the tournament. A&M had a deep run. Clemson had a deep run. You know what I'm saying? You beat these type of programs. You know what I'm saying? And those programs you beat would have really helped your resume. But what's done is done, and the best you can do now is put your best foot forward and get ready for the next upcoming year. But this is your non-scheduled slate for the upcoming 2023, 2024, 2025 season for Memphis basketball. 3 road games, and you have 3 home games. And what's really like, being honest, is 4 road games and 3 home games. So the Mississippi State Ole Miss matchups are going to be really good, really intense. You got them at home, so you got to take care of business. And the roster is still being constructed as we speak. So that's the non-conference portion of this schedule. All right, all right. So moving on to transfer portal news, right? Arturo Dean and John Bugs the third, their meetings were postponed with the University of Memphis. It was scheduled for Bugs' meeting was scheduled for Thursday or Friday, and Dean had a meeting scheduled for Wednesday or Thursday. They both was postponed. So that can mean a multitude of things. That can mean that they got swayed by another offer. Then something else came up that was probably more important. So decided to postpone. We'll know those details of the situation, but we'll find out soon enough. Also, Davon Barnes, who was another Memphis target, he committed to Ole Miss. And other news, we got TJ Bamba, Villanova transfer, is also a Memphis target who has they have interest in. I think Bamba put Memphis among his 6 finalists to when he makes his decision on where he wants to transfer next. So another to me, looking at his resume, looking at his profile, another highly skilled scorer, 15.8 points per game, 3.7 rebounds per game, when he was in Washington State. Um, Played at Villanova. That was a team that Memphis lost to last year at the Battle for Atlantis. But his numbers kind of dipped when he went to Villanova. He averaged 10.1 points per game for Villanova. And that game in the championship game against Memphis, he scored 13 points, had 3 rebounds and 2 assists. So the other teams that he has interest in going to committing to is Kentucky, Louisville, Florida, Stanford, and Oregon. So there's that. Okay. All right. All right. Also, news came down on April yesterday that former Tiger Moisa Sisse is back in the transfer portal once again. So, and according to reports, according to Hitman Hoops, Memphis has interest in bringing this guy back. And you know what? I have no issue with that. Um, he feels the need for this program, for this team, for this current roster. You have Dane Denaja, who was your one big. I think I said this in the other previous video, is that you need to add one more guy to the fold, one more big guy, one more big player, one more player at the 5 and the port to this roster. That way, I think you're set up for success, and you can push Nicholas Jourdain down to a different position where it could be more productive for you. So he played prior to this. He played for Oklahoma State. He transferred, and there were reports that Memphis had interest in him that time, but he chose Ole Miss. So I don't really know the whole details on the situation on why he transferred from Ole Miss, but I wonder if he will be inclined to come back to this program, or he's going to get swayed again by another program. Who knows? But he appeared in 26 games, 17 of which were starts. He averaged 4.5 points per game, 4.6 rebounds, and 1.4 blocks per game in the 2023-2024 season. He led the Rebels in offensive rebounds with 56 and also finished the regular season 6th in the Southeastern Conference in blocks. So I don't think he can give you the points if you need him to to get some buckets for you. I don't think he could do that for you like Malcolm Dandridge did this past season, but pulling down rebounds, block shots, he's your guy. A defender at the rim, Cisse is your guy because, like I said in the previous video, as always, you need players that have a defined role with this team. You need somebody that has a niche, a specialty that they're good at. And I felt as though you lacked that last season. And this is one of the areas where you struggled at. You didn't have enough players that had a defined role on this team. You didn't have, I would say, your your rim protection was not strong after Malcolm Dandridge, you know. So do what you need to do to add Moises Sisse to this roster. So I wouldn't mind having him back to this program on this roster. So that's gonna wrap it up for this week's transfer portal rundown for the Memphis Tigers men's basketball program. This past week, just to wrap it up, recap it, we had the non-conference schedule was announced. Ole Miss, Mississippi State announced new home and home games with Memphis. UNLV is now on the schedule as well. They also have a home and home series with Memphis. Arturo Dean, John Bugs meetings were cancel. John, who else? FedEx announced 5 million in NIL contributions with the program. Turadine, like I said, canceled the meetings. John Bug canceled the meeting as well. TJ Bamba adds Memphis to his finalists of teams that he would mind committing to, and that's pretty much it. All right, so I'll have you off right now, man. Give me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you feel. What are your thoughts on the latest news concerning the Memphis Tigers program? How do you feel about the FedEx contributions? What do you feel about adding Moises Cisse back to this roster? Also, check out sportsview360.com/Memphis Tigers for latest content on Memphis basketball, football and basketball programs. Have a blessed day. Peace. I'm out.